Over the next few videos, we'll be working on questions where we are required to prove the identity. We know how this works. We normally start off with the left-hand side. We simplify until we get the right-hand side. Here we have a 5-mark question, and I'm going to start off by rewriting the left-hand side. So we have left-hand side is equal to 1 over 1 minus sine x minus 1 over 1 plus sine x. What we notice here is that we are subtracting two fractions that have different denominators. So you know the rule, when adding or subtracting fractions with different denominators, to get the new denominator, we multiply both denominators together, and to get the numerator, we cross multiply. So we're going to have a times d. Whatever sign you have in between, you keep the same sign, and then you cross multiply the other way. So this is the rule that we use when we either add or subtract fractions with different denominators. We're now going to apply that rule to what we have here. So to get the new denominator, we multiply both denominators together. So I've kept them in brackets to indicate that they are being multiplied together. And from there, we cross multiply. So we're going to take this denominator, 1 plus sine x, and multiply across with 1. Since it's being multiplied with 1, it will remain as is. Then we keep the same sign in between. So here we have a minus, we're going to keep a minus, and we cross multiply the other way. We have 1 minus sine x times 1. However, because of this minus in front, when we multiply, we're going to put the 1 minus sine x in a bracket. Because remember that this negative in front will still have to multiply into the bracket with it. Now that's what we're going to do in the next step. We're going to get rid of these brackets by multiplying this negative into the bracket with both terms. So here's what we get. Remember, negative times 1 would be negative 1. Negative times negative sine x would give us positive sine x. Now looking at this numerator, we've got 1 and minus 1. They cancel out with each other. We can now gather like terms. We have sine x plus sine x. That is going to be 2 sine x. And now I'm going to multiply out the brackets in the denominator, which you could have done in the previous step. Okay, doing so, we're going to apply the FOIL method. So we have 1 times 1, which is positive 1. We've got 1 times positive sine x. That's positive sine x. Negative sine x times 1 is negative sine x. And then negative sine x times positive sine x is negative sine squared x. Now what you notice in the denominator is that you've got positive sine x and negative sine x, which cancel out with each other. Now here's what we're left with. We have 2 sine x in the numerator and 1 minus sine squared x in the denominator. At this point, the 1 minus sine squared x should look really familiar to you. And where it actually comes from is our identity. Sine squared x plus cos squared x is equal to 1. What they've done here is they have taken the sine squared x over to the right-hand side to get 1 minus sine squared x. So we notice that is equal to cos squared x. So our denominator here can be replaced with cos squared x. And this is something very important for you to remember. This identity, how it's usually tested in grade 12 is it's tested in some manipulated way, where either sine is taken over, cos is taken over. There's even some cases where the 1 is taken over to the left. So we just need to look out for that. So here, replacing our denominator, we have cos squared x. Now, remember that cos squared x is the same thing as cos x times cos x. And I'm just going to expand it because there's something important that we need to notice. Notice that when you expand it, within this expansion, you have sine x over cos x. And we know that sine x over cos x is tan. So this sine over cos can be replaced with tan, which gives us 2 tan x at the top, and then we have that remaining cos x which stays in the denominator. Now this cannot be further simplified. We have 2 tan x over cos x, and this happens to be the same thing as the right hand side, which means that we are now done with the question. So here's where your marks were allocated. You had 2 marks allocated in your first step where you got the LCD and you cross multiplied to get your numerators. The next mark was given for where you simplified, you multiplied out the brackets, multiplied out the brackets at the bottom, and where you made use of the identity, so where you replaced 1 minus sine squared x with cos squared x. So that part, as well as for simplifying the numerator to end up with 2 sine x. And the last mark was allocated specifically for the part where you expanded cos x to show that you have sine x over cos x and to get it to be tan. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for more content.